And if you're not already familiar with this game, this is a worker placement game where players are going to be trying to earn the most glory by defeating monsters. This new edition is going to be introducing brand new artwork across the board, as well as upgraded components, and it's also going to be rebalancing some of the promo and expansion content, and then of course offering everything that the game has to offer in a single big box solution. I am filming this one before the campaign's launched, so they haven't revealed too much of this content just yet, so if you do want to check it out, I will have it linked down below. But if you're not familiar with this game, like I said, it is a worker placement game, and players are going to be playing over 8 rounds, putting their workers on different locations in order to gain the various actions or benefits there. The different locations are mainly going to be used to grant you with additional dice that you can use in battle, gain you resources that are used in a variety of ways, or gain you access to fight a certain monster. There are also locations that can grant you tokens for rerolls to make your battles a little bit easier, or you can also buy additional workers. And when you do choose to fight a monster, you can either fight the monster close to the city or in a distant land. When you're fighting a monster near the city, you're going to be reserving that monster by putting your worker under it, but then all the battles resolve at the end of the round after all players' workers have been placed. But then each of those battles are going to be resolved one by one, with each monster having a different amount of health and a different amount of damage that they can inflict on you. At the start of the battle, you get to decide which dice you want to commit to that battle, and then you're going to be rolling those dice and then inflicting the amount of damage that you roll, with some of the dice also granting you with some other abilities like defending against their attacks. But each time that you aren't able to defeat the monster is going to inflict its damage amount on you. Then you're going to have to discard the amount of dice equal to the damage that you aren't able to block. The battle continues like this back and forth until you either run out of dice, and in that case you get nothing, but if you win the battle, then you're going to be gaining the glory from that card, as well as any additional bonuses. But if you chose to fight a monster in a distant land, you're going to be looking at the bottom of the board here. And whenever you choose to fight in this area, you're still going to be choosing which monster you want to fight. But each of these different monsters are going to have a different cost associated with them for you to add dice into that battle. The cost to add dice to each of these battles is indicated on the board above the monster card that you're choosing to fight, with the rightmost ones being a little bit cheaper, granting you with 2 dice for each food, and the left ones being a little bit more difficult, only granting you 1 die per food. The catch here is that since these monsters are in a distant land, you do have to sail to them, so you're going to have to choose or purchase a boat in order to do that, and each of these boats are going to have a limited amount of capacity, and you're only going to be able to fit as many dice and food as dictated by that capacity. So you're going to have to decide what ratio of dice versus food you want to do, and this will probably also play into which monster you want to fight. Not only that, but before you're able to fight the monster, you do have to flip one of these event cards, and these are just randomly drawn out, and these can cause all sorts of negative effects that might throw some of your dice or food overboard. From then on, you're going to enter that battle with the dice you have left over and the food that you have left over to pay for them, and then the battles just resolve the same as I mentioned earlier. The rounds continue like this, with players taking their actions and fighting monsters to earn glory, but one thing that I should note about some of these action locations is that if a player doesn't choose an action location, it's actually going to get additional resources or dice added to it, meaning that if you take it on the next round, you can actually get multiple dice at once from a single location. The player with the most victory points at the end of the game wins the game, and if you want to check this one out and see everything that this new version is going to be adding, you can find it in the link down below.